Tiffany, and I am a 47-year-old late diagnosed autistic girl. You say girl, that's 47 years old. I say 47, 47's not really that old. It's just, I've been here a while. I think of myself as, yes, of course, I'm a girl. I look at myself and say I'm a girl because I've not had any kids and I've not gotten married. I'm going to try and do this in 10 minutes and good luck. So I have ADHD. I've also got generalized anxiety as well as autism. I've always known I was different because I just never really could keep friends, and I found comfort in my own company a whole lot better than comfort with peers. Peers are really mean. The only peers that I ever got along with were the ones with special needs. Levi with the cleft palate, he had, that going on. And then Pamela, the Down syndrome girl, she would hit me so hard. She was mad at something, and then she'd come back and say, I'm sorry for hitting you. And a lot of the normal kids, they never said sorry for anything that they did whenever they stole things from me or anyways, I don't like looking at the past. Anyways, it was probably 2 years ago when I realized that I might be on the autism spectrum, because of my meltdowns, and it's nothing new, but it's hard for me to look people in the eye like idle, like when you're looking at them in the eye like this, and then I just have to look away because it gets to be uncomfortable, and then I can look back at them a few minutes later, but I think better when I'm not having to look someone in the face for some reason. Also, I keep to myself a lot. I've never had a whole lot of friends. Found people in general are a little bit exhausting to be around. Not everyone. People that I identify with that have the same struggles and think similarly, I can get along with fine. Whether they have a hang up or not, we usually can understand each other. I've got a boyfriend who lives up in Nacogdoches area. We actually went to school together in junior high and have kind of bumped into each other in periodic times of our life, and now we play video games almost every night. We give it a break now and then, but I like to play the Xbox Game Pass. Right now we're playing Fallout 76. It's a little bit of a slow game, but it's addicting. I only play for a couple hours, then go to bed. If I became a gamer, I think I'd probably play it all the time. I consider myself a gamer, but I consider myself, there's like various levels of gamer. I've always I had Atari when I was little, and then I've always been into video games and remote control and stuff like that. Was real interactive. I like. So yeah, I've always been into games. I've just haven't gotten my gaming chair yet. I'm actually waiting for that right now. I'm on a TikTok affiliate, and I've been promoting some chairs for this one gaming chair company, so they should be sending me a chair pretty soon that lights up and everything. So I'll be able to graduate to modern gaming. It's got surround sound too. So I'm trying to start up my drone photography business. It was a couple of years ago when I started realizing that there's something going on with me, that I started thinking about creating my own business. And I really have a passion for photography. I did that for 15 years in one of my jobs. And then because of budget and stuff, they were threatening to do away with my job, so then I got scared and went to another job, which was really boring, but it had like really good pay. Then my shift change, or the 12-hour rotating shifts really took a toll on me. And then after my brain surgery for Chiari malformation, I started having some other stuff going on. Very susceptible to heat sickness, and it's really bad. I'll pass out and I'll throw up. It's not fun. And I'm starting to think that maybe this is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I get tongue-tied. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Because of all of the things that have been happening with my connective tissue and Chiari malformation, and then, other innards and exards that just, give me problems, I guess. The heat intolerance is the worst part of it, because it stops me from going outside and enjoying anything that's outside whenever it's hot. If it's just a little bit over, say, 79, 80 degrees, I'll overheat in about 5 to 10 minutes, and it doesn't take long. It's probably less than that sometimes. Makes me throw up and then want to pass out. And when I get into the cool, I'm fine, but it's really bad. Really bad. So I'm going to see doctors for that, and hopefully the Baylor College of Medicine will be able to answer some questions about that for me. So I can get on with trying to get on the right foot again. So my drone photography business is actually something high on my list, that once that starts, I know I'm one of those that will be really ready to crumble. I'm not a flake. I'll be ready to crumble under the overwhelm and everything, and then once I get on my happy foot and content, I'm unstoppable. But everybody in this time of life is seeing the overwhelm, and that's a huge, my anxiety causes that. So I'm seeing a doctor at the Center for Optimal Brain Health, and let me get this straight here. It's kind of wobbly. And so the Center for Optimal Brain Health is for rehabilitation of autistic people and people with dementia. They help. They also diagnose autism, and that's who I went to. And they're just very nice. They're not gaslighty at all, and it feels kind of more like therapy instead of therapy where you have to go and talk about your past and stuff. Bringing up your past is just, no, it's not productive at all. But I know they have to do that in order to get an idea of what, or if you might be on the spectrum. So one of the things that they're doing is, I have the generalized anxiety, having to write like journal entries when I start feeling the anxiety come on. And she wants me to talk about what it is that's giving me the anxiety at the time, what triggered it and how I might be able to focus it in a direction that's more positive than negative. Because I sometimes get in a period of overwhelm where it does create anxiety, and I start, feeling like my heart wants to race, and just because I'm thinking too much about something. Lately it's been finances. I have really, really bad demand avoidance. And some debt because of medical stuff, and then credit cards during that recovery period. And I'm trying to get those out of the way. And probably not going to cry on this episode because I don't feel it. Sometimes when I get real anxious, I cry, and people take it as sadness, but it's not sadness. It's actually just being very, very overwhelmed. I like to dress different. I'm a musician. I'm not doing anything right now because I'm focusing on building up my my drone photography business, and I should be focusing some on my music, but it's been very overwhelming lately. So it's upstairs. I haven't gotten rid of any of my gear. I did that one time and I regretted it because it was right when this Chiari malformation started flaring up. I had a little mini stroke, and I really thought I was going to lose my playing ability. So I went and sold my big, huge Ampeg. Oh my gosh, such a cool cabinet. And I went and sold that because I thought I wasn't going to play anymore. And 2 weeks down the road, well, no, it was longer than that. 2 months. Probably longer. Someone that I knew asked me if I wanted to play bass. And I really did, but I was really like, I don't know if I'm going to or not. So I ended up playing for a while. The band stuck around from 2008 through the Rona. When the Rona came around, that's when the band broke up because they were in doing the lockdowns and whatnot, and they were at that time not sure how it was transmissible. So yeah, it had a lot of people afraid. I wasn't afraid. I never get sick like that. I rarely get respiratory issues. Rarely. Unless I'm around cats. I like cats, but cats don't... The dander from them, it gets me really, congested. And then if there's enough cats, mostly it's the urine, because the urine creates respiratory issues, especially if it's a male cat, because male urine is really hard on asthmatics. I've heard that's one of my roommates was an asthmatic, and he said it's because of male cat urine. So I am allergic to cats. They're so cute and cuddly, but I am allergic to them, and I get sneezes and coughs every time I go to my mom's and dad's house because my mom has a cat. And so yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. So this is what my therapist sent me home with. The cycle of anxiety, and I hope this helps someone out there. That's why I'm here. And if this does help you, or if you like what you see, and or if you want to keep tabs on my episodes, then please like and subscribe. That would do me a whole lot of help, please. I've also got stickers in the description. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I've got this squirrel here. She's right here. Let me see if I can make her more visible. See her? That's Rainy. I got her when she was really tiny. She fell out of a tree on my neighbor's house and was squeaking, and I didn't see Mommy around, so I picked her up and I took her in. And because I used to work at the pet store, raising birds, hand-raising parrots and stuff, I kind of knew how to nurse a small squirrel. And it's not really that much different. You just gotta really watch out where you put the eyedropper. And once her eyes opened up, she started growing like crazy, because then she could kind of start eating regular food. So if this is helpful to you, I would greatly appreciate a like and subscribe, because I'm trying to get my channel going. I think I have like 20 subscribers so far. Got a lot of friends, but none of them want to subscribe for some reason. I mean, it's like, I'm not asking them for money to subscribe. It's free. So if you enjoy this, then give me a like and subscribe. By the way, also follow Claire and the Woodshed Theory and Orion Kelly and the Mom on the Spectrum. You guys are awesome. Follow those guys because they're really cool too. I'll have their links in my description. Trying to get on this creator thing. I'm probably going to take it more of a photographic angle once I get my drone. So the direction that I'm going to take this channel is probably more a visual angle, but I'll have talk narration too. More for my drone photography, and I'll do fun stuff. Maybe I'll take you around Houston in my drone, or take you around other parts of Texas on my drone. I'll have to drive there, but you know, the drone goes couple of miles, so maybe I'll take you on a trip with me with my drone once I get it. Also gonna be doing real estate drone photography and events too, and probably contract as well. Trying to get back on my feet. I'm like in a financial rut big time. So yeah, the cycle of anxiety. Before I get distracted again. Squirrel! Okay, so the first step of anxiety is anxiety. Okay? An anxiety producing situation leads to uncomfortable symptoms such as worry, fear, a racing heart, sweating, or feeling of being overwhelmed, that's anxiety. That's the feeling of anxiety. And then what comes of it is then avoidance. Avoidance is the uncomfortable symptoms that are controlled by avoiding the anxiety producing situation, which is like me avoiding reading and math, and bills, and so some examples of avoidance include skipping class to avoid giving a presentation, using drugs or alcohol to numb feelings, procrastinating on challenging tasks, and like what I discussed with you, the dyslexia. It creates a lot of avoidance. I'm not using that as an excuse. It's been a thing in my life. I avoid a lot because of things that trigger me. And then the next one is short-term relief from anxiety. So short-term relief from anxiety is the avoidance of the short-term relief from anxiety is the avoidance of anxiety producing situations. It gives an immediate sense of relief. The symptoms of anxiety lessen, but only temporarily. So it's like putting it off. Right? The anxiety is there, but you're having the short-term relief, which is the avoidance. Because eventually you're going to have to give that attention, and it's just going to get bigger. Then you got the long-term anxiety growth, and that's the fear that initially led to the avoidance worsens, and the brain learns that when the anxiety producing situation is avoided, the symptoms go away. As a result, the symptoms of anxiety will be worse the next time, and avoidance is more likely. So that's the cycle anxiety. That's how it builds. My therapist gave that to me and to try and get me to understand how anxiety works. And so you got the anxiety, the avoidance, short-term relief from anxiety, and then the long-term anxiety growth. So when you're putting things off, you might end up coming into more anxiety later. So don't put things off. In other words, try and work on them at the moment, so that way it's not such a big anxiety. And that's one thing that I'm really learning how to do, is to manage the anxiety at that present moment. And that's why she has me writing journal entries out when I get anxious. So that way I can learn what causes my anxiety and then maybe deal with it a little bit better than I do. But it's a work in progress for sure. I'm sorry, I just realized y'all were just seeing my head was like this big on the camera. So I'll get better equipment soon. This tripod just broke recently, so I'm using tape to keep the tripod and the phone together. One thing that really helps me out of I'm gonna have to go soon. One thing that helps me out a little bit, one of my passions, I guess, because your passions help you deal with anxiety, because they feel better, but there's some times where I avoid everything and just don't even do any of my passions. Like music and creating stuff of, painting. I do a lot of painting. I think it's a lot. I mean, one painting can be really, really, really overwhelming sometimes when I'm thinking about it too hard. But I've got a couple of paintings that are up for sale. I don't know if anyone wants to buy them, but if you do, I have them on Mercari. So one thing I get interested in is stickers. These kind of stickers especially. Not these stickers, because I actually had these made by Sticker Mule. But I sent them the wrong design. I wanted to have the impossible square instead of the eye triangle. But basically the message that I have with my stickers is sort of to keep your perception clear. At this point in time when my mind was changing, that I wanted to do my own drone photography business and take things on myself, invest in myself, it requires a huge perception shift. So that's what these stickers, they say, see everything, perception shift. And this one's the triangle with the eye in it, and people say, oh, that's real Illuminati. But that's not the idea that I was having. This is the eye seeing everything around you rather than just a little bit, that little bitty bit that most people see, especially neurotypicals. they see this much and then they see the rest on themselves, where we, get stuck and then in the overwhelm and then just burnout. And it requires a little bit of a shift of perception, because sometimes it's all in how we perceive things that makes it even worse. So it takes a perception shift in order to make things realign when it comes to, thinking clearly. So I had to go somewhere, and you can see the sun is probably in that window now. It is in that window now. And that's really about it. I was diagnosed about, when was it? 2 months ago? I forget the exact date, but I've been procrastinating on this episode for a while, and I've done it, and I've redone it. And Claire, that's your cup right here, number 100, that survived a tornado. It didn't hit anything though, so. It's just water. Yeah, I don't do coffee in the evening time because I won't fall asleep. I'll stay up till 3 a.m. doing whatever it is that my mind has me doing at the time. That's one of the things about ADHD, is it takes you everywhere, and it's, oh, a squirrel. There's a squirrel. My squirrel. My squirrel's name is Rainy. And that's Stella. You might see Stella in some short videos because she's just really kind of funny and silly. She's a black-mouthed cur. Ain't that right, Stella? Hey, Stella, look. See? I'm not much into fidget toys, really. Because it's something that I have to bring along with me, and then I would probably get annoyed with it getting in the way, because it's something extra to keep track of. And yeah, I'm not much into fidget toys. I mean, I like the way they feel and stuff, but I've never been into fidget toys. Those were not really a thing back in when I was young. So I learned to deal with the feelings the way a neurotypical probably would. I mask a lot because I'm 47 years old. When I was little, they treated meltdowns and panic attacks and things like that as a phase, and you're gonna grow out of it. And then, as you got older, you slip between the cracks, and then once you're an adult, you get to take care of it on your own. And then when you're an adult, nobody wants to help, it seems like, because it's your problem. So my whole entire life, basically, has been swept under the carpet because it's a phase. She'll grow out of it. I'm not real sure what my mother thinks about the diagnosis, if she might feel guilty or if she thinks it's all BS or what, but it is something that I struggled with all my life, and I've tried to tell my mom and dad and doctors and everybody who I reach out to help for. I said, something's not right. I need to get diagnosed. Oh, what do you need to get diagnosed for? It's all in your head. It's just anxiety. that's what my life has been. So finally getting a confirmation, or finally getting the evaluation and confirmed that I am on the autistic spectrum. It was a huge load off my shoulders, and just now I'm trying to figure out how to get through the rest of my life. So I'm going through the therapy and trying to learn how to deal with my anxiety a little bit better than I do. Not sure what direction or if it's going to go anywhere with the dyslexia. It's really bad, and they do the same thing. Oh, you're just overthinking. Not my new therapist. It's treated the same way, that I'm just overthinking it. Which is not surprising. It is a very, 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 very difficult time to get diagnosed as a adult of my age, because they want to look at you and say, I don't know, you sure it's not dementia? You're 47 years old. Like, I've been going through this my whole entire life. I've been to psychiatrists, I've been medicated, I've gotten sick on the medications, like really sick. I had to cold turkey stop medications. Then I found CBD therapy, and that actually helps out a lot. Right now I don't have any because I'm waiting for my disability check to come in. Trying to get out of this rut, and trying to make something of this lemon. So if you can relate to me, or if you want to see more of what I have in store for you, which it's gonna get better, I promise. The lighting sucks here, and you know, I'm working from the bedroom right now. Maybe next time I'll have a better background instead of my squirrel cage. Unless you like seeing the squirrel, maybe I'll take the squirrel out sometime to introduce you to her. She is a squirrel, so she's squirrely. Only 4 months old, so she's still kind of a baby. Still training her to be a little bit more, what do you say, docile? I don't know if that's capable of a squirrel, but, you know, she's a cool pet. I don't suggest children getting a pet squirrel. This was sheerly by accident. I rescued her, and then I couldn't let her out to the wild because she got beat up by probably her brothers and sisters. So I don't want her to die or anything like that. So I took her back in and got her this big cage, and we have playtime a couple of times a day, and she gets to run around like a squirrel inside the house. Of course, the dogs are all put in their kennels whenever that's happening, so that way they don't make snack of Rainy. They're getting better though. I just don't want them to chomp her. And then yeah, I'm gonna have the drone photography footage that's going to be coming up in the near future. So please like and subscribe. That would do me a huge favor. It costs nothing whatsoever, and it may be as much as a little check mark on your notifications that I'm here. So yeah, let me show you a couple of things that I do before I go. I do paint occasionally whenever I have something in my head. This took about a couple of months because it was definitely a lot of different layers and looking at it and brainstorming and what do I want to do next. This one's just a stencil painting. I use a stencil from, I bought some stencils and just kind of airbrush all of it. And then the pouring stuff, that's the messy. I think that looks like space or like a nebula or something. That's what the whole idea was. It looks like space. And then my phoenix eye. I started with the eye and I'm like, oh, I want to make that a phoenix eye. So that's a phoenix eye. And everything is sealed in acrylic paint on canvas. Here's one I call MTV, and then this is Jazzercise. Because Jazzercise, see has that texture like cellulite. I call it Jazzercise. That's MTV. All of these are UV reactive. My light is going out, but that's a black light on the painting. So when you put a huge black light on it, it actually looks really cool. And then I have these Christmas balls that I painted from the inside, and those are UV reactive too. And they have glitter in them. So they're really cool and shiny. And then there's my other passion. I am a musician from Texas, and I like to play guitar. Actually, no, I play bass guitar. And I have a few things on Mercari. That's what that mess is right there. But that's my guitars. That one's Evil Dead. And well, that's not Slash inspired. That's my top hat on top of my bitch guitar. I actually play bass, as I said. So, I mean, I can play guitar a little bit. I play rhythm if I do play. Or whenever when my friend Steve comes over, he plays the guitar and I play bass. But I'm not just a collector. I am a musician, and I have a jam room and equipment and a Marshall bass rig. I have a Marshall bass rig and more guitars. This is a 12-string that I rescued from the trash. It's a Gibson. It needs a little bit of work. The neck is actually needing a little bit of work. Friend's kid slammed it on the floor. It needs to get reset. And my 5-string. This is the closet of a ADHD. It's actually not that bad up here. And remote control cars. This right here is a gas-powered remote control car from Traxxas. It is a Jado. They do not make them anymore. This one has a brand new chassis and has been rebuilt. I have not had it running yet, so I don't know. I might have to replace the piston. Not sure yet, but we shall see whenever I have it running. I do have more remote control cars than just that one of them. I have them down there, but they are very dusty. I need to clean them off. One of them needs new tires, so. And then I like rocks. Rocks and scary things. I've always been into rocks and scary things. So yeah, that's that's me and my passions. I like to have a few things to do because I don't like being bored. Whenever I'm bored, I think too much. So get yourself some things to do. I'm also in the process of working with a small business counselor I just realized I have this wrong way. Now that I have the right way, my head looks bigger. Yeah, I'm in the process of creating a drone photography business as well with a business counselor, like legit business. I'm just lining up everything that I need to get done, and then I'll be able to do some of those kind of videos here too. That will be soon. So please, 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 please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you are generous and can have a little empathy for someone who is trying to get out of the rut, I have a link in the description. Buy me a coffee. I'd really appreciate it. And like, y'all, I don't know how much I can say I appreciate what y'all would do if y'all at least like and subscribed. That way you can see how a late diagnosed 47-year-old girl deals with things. Also the lessons that my therapist is giving me, I'm going to share with y'all as well. Just like the cycle anxiety here that I read just a little while ago. In my time right now, yesterday. But yeah, just give me a follow, man. Make this community bigger, because we don't have enough like-minded people on the interwebs. While we have some really good ones, like the group that I suggested to you earlier, Orion and Mom on the Spectrum and Claire from the Woodshed Theory, and I know I've forgotten others, but you guys, anybody who's out there that's talking about autism, you guys helped me out and coaxed me into getting my own evaluation. While I had suspicions my entire life, I wasn't real sure. And doctors gaslight really bad, especially when you're adult, and they can. I actually lost doctors because of it. When you're not diagnosed, when you're not formally diagnosed, the doctors will look at you as a hypochondriac. That's what they see. When you self-diagnose, the doctors see a hypochondriac. That's all I mean, I wanted to self-diagnose and not, go through the whole painful process of dragging up old memories and stuff, but, they're not well receptive on self-diagnosed folks, especially if you have other ailments going on that you're seeing them for. They're gonna just roll their eyes at you. So if you want to get a formal evaluation, that would actually help a lot. Whether you divulge it to anyone after that, that's your decision. But in terms of job and other doctors, getting a formal diagnosis is very valuable. Then it also might, if you do struggle with other things like I do with the Chiari and all of that, it might actually help you figure out the rest of the stuff that's causing problems for you. So go and get evaluated. It's a tedious process, but when you find the proper professional to help you with it, then that's amazing. I'll leave the link in the description for the place that I went to, the Center for Optimal Brain Health. If you're in the Houston area, these people are just, they're really professional, and they're not going to gaslight you. They see elderly, children, and my age, 47-year-old girls that... Anyways, I would really appreciate your like and subscribe, and until the next time,